One mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Yes, indeedy, it is the One Mic with Big Mike show here. Live and direct on Spreaker.com on a hump day. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys joining me. I'm also on the Spreaker app. If you got a mobile device, which everybody does, go ahead and download the Spreaker app, Spreaker, onto your phone. Or if you got the TuneIn app, I should be there now, but we'll check on it as the show goes on. TuneIn been kind of tripping here lately. And, of course, on the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. You can also follow me or like my Facebook page where I'm streaming live video at right now. The number one, MICWITHBIGMIK is the Facebook page. And on that Facebook page, you'll also see some little tabs as well that lead you to my YouTube and to my Instagram and to my Twitter. Go ahead and subscribe to my Instagram, like me on Twitter and Instagram. Wait, I meant to say subscribe to my YouTube and like me on Twitter and Instagram. To get in touch with the show and be a part of the show is quite easy. All you got to do is text me at 404-902-8104. That's 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside the live interactive chat room that is connected to my Spreaker. All you got to do to do that is be listening on Spreaker or my website, and you'll see a little thought bubble icon. Just click on that. It'll get you right up inside the live interactive chat room. Or if you're one of those watchers, the people who like to watch, shout out to my man Jarvis Davis. Like to watch, you can leave your comments and questions and all those things right below the streaming video here on the old Facebook, the old book face. All right, so we got some people chiming in the chat room already. Let's see who's here. I am No Dose. What up, homie? Yeah, man, it's time to rock and roll, man. We got a lot of stuff going on tonight. You know, I don't know how good it's gonna be. I know two things are gonna be good. One, at the bottom of the hour, my man Alex Khvatov. We ain't heard from him in about a year. It's not been quite a year because we heard from him the last time in May to do our draft wrap up, and he was gracious enough to tell us yes again today. So he'll be on the show tonight. We'll get you guys ready after not at all the college football stuff is over except for the All-Star games. He'll get us ready going into the All-Star games. Tell us about some guys that we might need to be looking forward to. Tell us about the process as it is when you're talking about evaluating these players, and he'll give us the skinny on some guys because he's one of these guys who looks at the players throughout the year through kind of a different lens than most of us look at them through. So he'll tell us what kind of prospects, some of the bigger prospects are going into the draft so far. Also, we got my man, the president. Yeah, man, not Obama. We'll talk about him in just a second. Not my man, Barack, but the president of the National Football Writers Association. He's also the Atlanta Falcons beat writer for the AJC. His name is D. Orlando Ledbetter. He'll join me at the top of next hour, which means we'll have to push on this day my daily look back into the annals of sports to the bottom of the next hour. But no problem there. I'm always loving when the Prez joins me. He always got some good stuff for me. As far as the show goes, like I mentioned, we got those two guys, and also this is my first opportunity to give you guys my take on the Clemson victory from Monday, excuse me. And it's so funny, man. Like the stuff that follow things like that. Like I'm like my man Big L, he's in the building as well, and he's changed his tag to Nostradamus. And I'm only assuming that means that he got something right. But here's the thing, like you guys who've listened to the show long enough, you know I don't do that because I think it's ridiculous, especially in a sport where no one knows what's going to happen. Like you don't know what's going to happen. I remember I told Rob on Friday, we was talking about this situation with Lane Kiffin privately. I told him, yeah, I think it's quite possible that Clemson can win. Like, we're not talking about, the College of Charleston. This is Clemson. Like, they have a star quarterback. They got that big kid, Mike Williams, who showed up big in the game. They got a defensive line that's young and hungry and aggressive and mad. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Yeah, see, I knew it. It's it's getting bad around here. Well, I'm starting to kind of know the personalities of you D-bags that are in this chat room. It's starting to get real weird and stupid, and probably more stupid than I like it to be. But so yeah, I'll give my thoughts on that. The other headlines from the day is Derrick Rose apparently went AWOL. He went back to Chicago, and everybody lost their mind about it. It's like, all right, dude, no call, no show. We've all been there. We've all been there. Like, I've no call, no show, and never showed back up. You know what I mean? I went on my vacation, took all my vacation time, and then when it was time to come back, they was calling my house. No answer from the kid. I just got paid and dipped. I ain't feel like working there no more. My man, the Prez, man. The Prez said goodbye yesterday. I ain't watch it. I ain't watch it at all, man. I'm not really a big speech guy. My man Callaway, you guys remember Rob Callaway? We did the Sports Kings reunion right before the new year hit. He's shocked, and I think lightweight appalled too, because I've never seen the entire Stuart Scott speech. I've seen the bits and pieces of it as they play, and everybody tells me how emotional it is. I've seen, I think, 1 or 2 parts of the Craig Sager speech, another great speech that people talk about. I've never seen the Jim Valvano speech. I'm just not that dude. I'm not I don't know what happens to me. I don't have that type of, I don't know. I don't my attention span ain't really that. And I got trust issues when people start talking, and I start wondering man, I wonder if that sounds like some bull. See, so I don't want to I don't want to do that to the Prez. So I ain't watch. And plus now we have Twitter and Facebook, so I can watch via you guys, the stuff that you guys tweet about it, and I get all the highlights. I got all the highlights from Meryl Streep. I got all the highlights from Barack last night. I got all the highlights from your man, Dump Trump today. I got everything without having to watch these dudes speak in person. But yeah, man, he's out. That's tough. I want y'all to join me in something. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I suggest you do at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Go ahead and follow me, man, because I tweeted something out yesterday, and this needs to become a movement. I just feel like we should all just act for the next 4 years. Just act as though Barack is still there. Talk about him like he's still the president. Just ignore Donald Trump completely. Everybody should just do that. And just go on with your regular life as though you have been the last 8 years for the next 4 years. And let's see if that works. I don't know, because this dude is an attention whore. And if he starts not getting any attention, well, one, he might just end the world, just start nuking everybody. But, I'm willing to take that chance. There's sacrifices in every movement. Y'all come with me on that, man. We just got to start, because I'm like y'all. I don't want that dude to leave, man. I know it's time, because that man aged 20 years and 8. And it's time for him to go enjoy his beautiful wife. Those kids about to be out the house. So him and Michelle about to be walking around the crib naked and just banging on everything. So shout out to Barack for that. But the selfish part of me says, I need you, dog. You know what I mean? I need you, bruh. But he's gone. You know what I would have done just on some pettiness? If I was him, this is why somebody like me or me would never be the president of anything. I just showed up at the last speech with a dashiki on, some African garb, and waving a Kenyan flag and speaking in some kind of African accent, I got you. I got he was right all the time. But Barack's too cool for that, man, and he's not an idiot like me, thus being the president. Other headlines. Grayson Allen at it again. I don't know if you guys saw this situation. Grayson Allen, the kid from Duke that can't stop putting his damn feet on people. They talk about Draymond all the time, but this kid is really on some next level. Yesterday, he was playing Florida State. He goes to dive for a ball out of bounds. And guess what? Most people who dive out of bounds, they try to protect themselves and fall softly, and maybe they might land on somebody's lap. This dude shoves the hell out of an assistant coach. And then act like that was a natural move. And everybody want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Not me, cuz. Nope. The best predictor of future behavior is your past behavior. Yeah, dog. You're a douchebag. And if I hope, and he must be able to fight real good. He must be a good fighter. Because no one has gone off in that boy's mouth for doing this craziness. He kicked the dude in the balls the other day. And all I can think about is my man Draymond. Draymond out there trying to play his heart out. Excuse me. And the next thing you know, everybody talking about he need psychiatric help. Yeah, but this white kid, we give him the benefit of the doubt. All right, Miss me with that. What are you WTFing about? I am no dose. My idea of Barack coming out with an African accent and a dashiki. Do Africans wear dashikis, first of all, or am I being like ignorantly profiling people? And like a Kenyan flag? Is that what you do? Yeah, I would have been so petty and done that. I would have had the kids dressed up and everything. Even Biden would have been out there on some African stuff like he from Africa. Big up to Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph got the Broncos job. He was the Dolphins defensive coordinator last year, so now he's getting his gig, his time to shine with the Broncos. Hopefully they get a quarterback, man, to help that bro out, man, because the defense should be all right. I don't know how long Akeem and them corners, Chris Harris and them boys are locked up for. I know Vaughn Miller just, of course, got locked up last week. Shane Ray still on his rookie deal. So for what it's worth, you got Brandon Marshall playing linebacker. So for what it's worth, they look pretty good. The white boy Wolf, he got his money last year as well. So on offense, they look pretty good. Defense, they look pretty good. On offense, they all right too. Emmanuel Sanders gonna need some money this year, I think. Bebe just got his money. The running back game is whatever, but they need a quarterback. So hopefully that dude can get a quarterback and not be sitting around looking like Todd Bowles, getting heart attacks and whatnot. Before I get into the show, before I get into talking about this championship game, let me give you guys the poll results from Friday. I thought we had more than one. I thought we had a couple, but I only found one. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. Yeah, did the New York Giants wide receivers trip to Miami have anything to do with the Green Bay loss? God, y'all so stupid. Y'all are dumb, man. 67% said yes. Why is my microphone doing this, dude? Oh, dang it. 67% said yes. And 32%, something's going on with my mic, everybody. Hold on. And 32% said, 33% said they underestimated Green Bay. Where did that answer come from? Good God Almighty. What the hell is going on with this microphone? I'm just going to have to hold it, I guess. All right. Now, finally, I get a chance to talk about this championship game. And really, I'm glad what happened. Because sometimes you're not the smartest dude in the room. Sometimes you just can't do whatever the hell it is you think you want to do. And because you're who everybody tells you you're something, it's like, oh, whatever. Nick Saban, right? And he got rid of Lane Kiffin. Ugh. I'm sorry, y'all. This damn mic stand is killing me right now. Got rid of Lane Kiffin. Brought in his man, Sarkisian, to call plays. After this dude ain't called plays, oh, I just broke it. Oh, man, that's terrible. This man ain't called plays in years, right? And the first time in years for this dude to call plays is the national championship game. Yeah, good. I bet Lane was watching this damn game. Renee texted me, too. She was like, what do you think, Renee? What do you think? Yeah, this is tough, B. Like, what do you think Lane is doing right now? I was like, he probably happy as hell. This was like in the second quarter because the offense wasn't doing really nothing. I was like, yeah, he probably happy as hell this is happening. Like, he know his worth. And then, like, we might want to look at this game and say they lost the game on offense. They couldn't stop Deshaun, or on defense because they couldn't stop Deshaun Watson. Man, you know what I mean? 3 and outs this dude was calling. He had these dudes punting the ball. Alabama's. No, I'm not taking no damn break. This is what I do, Renee. Renee's telling me to take a break. And then she cursed at me, too. See, I fixed it. Duh. While I was talking. Anyway, so they ran 99 plays. They ran 99 plays, man. And, yeah, of course, these cats are going to get worn down. I got the numbers here as well. Let me get myself together. I am no dose. He in the chat room talking about Mike does the most while broadcasting. Yeah, man, that, like, the name of the show is real. It's just one mic. It's just me and this microphone. I'm in here by myself. Like, if I was doing radio still, there'd be a cat on the other side of the glass. He'd come in, he'd rush in. Oh, the host mic is effing up. Let me see what I can do to fix it. Or I'd move to a different mic within the room. No, it's just me. I mean, there's another mic in here, but I had to get up and go all the way over, like 2 feet away from me. A whole 2 feet to get the other one. I ain't feel like doing it. I want to problem solve in the moment. Jesus. All right. So these cats ran 99 plays. 99. Well, let's call it 98 because the last one was a kneel down. They had a bunch of 3 and outs. There was really no creativity to the offense. Like they got a couple of breakdowns in the that OJ Howard catch was like 60 something yards. The big kid Scarborough, he did his work, and then now it's like the Alabama people. Let's talk about them real quick. The Saban clan, the cult of Saban. Like they be trying. Like this dude I used to work for tried to come at me after the game was over because I retweeted the Saban Jordan face that, by the way, looked a lot like Bill Cosby. And then, like, to add like insult to injury, they changed the A on his shirt to an L, which I thought was a really subtle and awesome touch to everything. But yeah, this dude tried to come at me, talk about I'm trolling for Alabama fans. I was like, dude, I don't give a damn about you or your cult leader. I just understand that things don't just happen because you are a person. And when you start believing that about yourself, I don't give a damn. This dude don't call no damn plays. He ain't called no plays in years. Watch how quickly I can replace this other dude. You can't. Another thing you can't replace the relationship that Lane has with this dude. Before the semifinals game, I read a story about Lane Kiffin talking, had to have a conversation with Jalen Hurts' dad because he couldn't understand this dude's mannerisms. Like he'd be like getting on him, and he'd just give him like this kind of blank stare. And he said I couldn't really understand. I couldn't really read it well. And he called his dad. He's like, "What's up with your son, man?" It's like I'm talking to him. I'm trying to instruct him. I'm trying to get on him and get him going. And he's looking at me like whatever. And it comes off as arrogance. His dad was like, "Look, man, that's not arrogance. My son just knows not to talk back. He's taking the instruction in." And he's gonna try to apply it the best he can. So it's not that. It's just that he knows not to talk back. He knows how to respect authority. See, had he not had a relationship with the kid and had a relationship with the dad, because he's the one who recruited the kid. He went down, worked him out one day during school, pulled him out of class to work him out. And he's the one who recruited him. So that relationship is there. Sarkisian is a stranger. So when this kid is in the biggest moment of his career so far, and he's looking to the guy he's been looking to for the first 13, 14 games, and he ain't there, what is Sarkisian going to say to this kid? Like, what personal attachment or what personal thing is he going to come at this kid with to maybe calm him down, to get him refocused? He's 18 years old. Yeah, good for Nick Saban. Good for him and all the yahoos that run around here talking about a damn process and all. Everybody got a process. I got a damn process. It just so happens that Nick Saban is in a position right now where every kid wants to go to Alabama. I just told you guys the other day about that kid, the number 1 recruit in the country. He's on campus right now. So while everybody in Alabama want to cry about Bo Scarborough, guess what? He's already pretty much been replaced. That kid is on campus right now. He'll be at spring practice. And the machine just goes on. What else is this? I got all this stuff from an article, these numbers, because I don't really do numbers on the show, but certain things bring things into perspective, like how Clemson was able to control the time of possession. Obviously, they had the ball for 99 plays, and Alabama only had it for 66. Of course, they had the ball longer, but Alabama only got 16 first downs. 16. In the second half, Clemson ran 54 plays, like over half of their plays was in the second half, to Alabama's only 29. A third of theirs. Yeah, this is real deal stuff. So it looks like, oh my God, look what Deshaun Watson did to that defense. No, look what Steve Sarkisian did to that defense. When you can't convert on third down, and the defense had Deshaun Watson a little bit shook at the beginning, but this dude runs for a living. You know what I mean? So while you getting tired, your big guys, your linebackers are getting tired, and plus everybody knows defenses play with a lot more emotion. So you're exuding a lot more energy. Guys are running to the football. People are exuding a whole lot more energy. If you're a wide receiver and you run a deep pattern, you go in and another wide receiver comes in. You know what that corner has to do? Line his ass back up against the fresh wide receiver. So there's a lot more energy to be exerted on defense. So if you're playing 99 plays and your offense cannot protect you a little bit, it's a problem. And it's a problem that was caused by your head coach being too proud, and in everything, man, things come full circle. You don't get to, and everybody felt like, and you guys heard me say this, so this is not a new thing for me. When it happened, what did I say? Everybody wants to blame Lane Kiffin for the way other people did him. Al Davis called him a liar. You know what I mean? Because, and Al Davis got offended when he told him not to draft Jamarcus Russell. Yeah. Who was the idiot in that situation? Lane Kiffin came back and jumped into a situation. He left Tennessee. Maybe those people can be mad, but come on, you're Tennessee. You're not. He went to L.A. Get over it. He gets to L.A. They're going through all these Reggie Bush sanctions. Team does well for 2 years. The third year, the sanctions hit. They fired this dude at the airport and didn't even take him back to the office. Now this Nick Saban stuff comes. We 1 week away from the championship game. You know what? You might want to go ahead and go on down to Florida, buddy. We got another dude in here that can do your gig. Oh, really? No. Oh, really? No. Yeah. That's what your ass get. You and all the cult members. That's what y'all get. Speaking of the cult members, did y'all see that video of the team getting off the bus today? Yeah. Crickets. No one's there. All these people who love Alabama and go Roll Tide and all this kind of foolishness, no one was there. How's that a thing? How? You know how I know why I think it's a thing? Because, yeah, these hillbillies will love these Negroes while they winning. You stop winning, you just another N-word. Take your ass to class, B. Ain't no cheering section for you. Ain't no good season. Nah, you ain't get what we wanted. The thing that we live for. You're a sad human being. You're a sad human being if your life's hopes and dreams lie in the laps of 18 to 20 year olds. You're a sad human being, man. So when they asked Nick Saban about the situation with Lane and Sark and all that, this is him. Quote, I think we had some drops. I think we had some tip balls. I think there were things that we could have done better, but I thought the preparation was good. I thought the organization was good, and I thought we gave our players a chance in this game to have success. Now, you might be saying, Mike, but it came down to the last play. Like, if that last play goes wrong, if they call a pick on that last play, we're having a different narrative. I would still say this, that Clemson deserved to win the ball game. Whether that last play went as planned, or whether they kicked the field goal at the end and went to overtime, or whatever happened, Clemson, the way they played and the way they took the body punches, took the head punches earlier. They took them early and they shook them off, and they came back throwing body blows and haymakers. They deserve to win that game, and then sometimes the team that deserves to win the game don't always win it. But in this case, it happened that way. The team that deserved to win the game won the game, and now everybody's got their excuses and all this kind of stuff. Like, if you guys heard the show on Monday, if you had some technical stuff with that, and I'm trying to get it rectified with the Spreaker people. But if you guys heard the show on Monday, you heard Ben Troop, my man Ben Troop, talk about how he kind of had a fear that this may be, if Alabama won, this may be turning into UConn girls basketball, which, by the way, shout out to them. The second 99-game winning streak in Gino Auriemme's history. My God. Like, all right, man, if you got a good thing, you just keep rocking, I guess. 99 games for them girls, man. Twice, by the way. It's kind of weird. They lost the 100 game last time. That's kind of weird to me, but whatever. But I started thinking about that. When he said it, I was like, nah, I think college football is going to be all right. I think it's in a good place right now as far as where certain teams are headed. You got JT Barrett coming back at Ohio State, right? This kid Francois is down at FSU. Of course, they're going to have to start protecting that dude, because I saw that dude get concussed at least like 7-8 times this year. Jimbo's going to have to find some of those big, fat, fast, athletic boys in Florida to come up to Tallahassee and protect that kid. But I think they'll be all right. The University of Florida, they won the SEC East for whatever that is, being the skinniest kid at fat camp, I guess. But I think they're an offensive way, because they play some real good defense down there. If they get a little bit of offensive help, they'll be a player. Washington, Chris Peterson's boys got a taste this year, and I think he knows how to, I know he knows how to coach. His work speaks for itself. USC, they back. Just spoke about them. They back. The sanctions over with. It's time to rock and roll. They're number 3 right now in the exit polls, the final poll of the season. I don't know what the rankings are, but I know they are number 3 because I read that earlier today. Penn State seems to be back. Fortunately, unfortunately, you guys know how I feel about that. Root for James Franklin, hate Penn State athletics. Oklahoma, big game. Bob Stoops got Baker Mayfield coming back for another year. He made that announcement on the podium at the, I don't know what it is, Orange Bowl or whatnot. Now, we got questions about Clemson. Sean Watson's out. Graduated in 3 years. He's about to go to the league and start getting paid for this. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts. Ben texted me and asked me what's next for Jalen Hurts. You know, I think Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback. It's going to depend on how Steve Sarkisian, as the new offensive coordinator, develops him, and if he understands the kid. If he can understand how to put the kid in the right position to succeed, cool. Like, but at the end of the day, you know what? I won't be surprised if Jalen Hurts at some point next year or in his third year was not the starter anymore. Because what you think they're going to do? We got a freshman quarterback who went to the championship. They're going to stop recruiting quarterbacks? Hell no. You know what I mean? It's like, what have you done today at that joint? So, you know, I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I think he did well this year. A lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people feel like he was limited. But, of course, he's an 18-year-old, true freshman. And I think he has the ability to get better. But we'll see if the circumstances around him, you know, bear that out. I forgot to mention Michigan. Michigan's got Pep Hamilton back up there. If you don't remember, Pep Hamilton was with Jim Harbaugh during the Andrew Luck years, so they trying to team back up together and get that thing popping. Did y'all hear Jim Harbaugh? Let's put this on the poll, Renee. Jim Harbaugh said he fell asleep. He's like, I heard it was a good game, but I fell asleep. I had to TiVo it. First of all, who still has TiVo? Yeah. So he had to TiVo it, and he hadn't seen the game yet, but he heard it was a good game. Let's put this on the poll. Now, do you believe that Jim Harbaugh, Weirdy McWeirdo face, bug-eyed weirdo man, fell asleep during the national championship game? Yes or no? Hashtag put it on the poll, brought to us by Sports News and Brews.com. That's the first one of today. All right, so we're getting ready here. We got to talk to Alex Khvatov at the bottom of the hour on the One Mic with Big Mike show, heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, tune in, and OneMicWithBigMike.com. 404-902-8104 is the number that you can text. Renee asked me earlier if I wanted to open the text line up to you guys. I mean, it's always open. I told you 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can always text this number. But if you guys want to ask my man Alex about any prospects, yeah, sure. Go for it. Whatever. You know, if you guys want to do that, you can text them at 404-902-8104. You can also leave them below the live streaming video that's going on Facebook Live. Facebook.com/One Mic with Big Mike is the handle. The Twitter handle and the Instagram handle are all the same as well. And also, you can jump inside the live interactive chat room on Spreaker or the website OneMicWithBigMike.com. Just click on that little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player. It'll get you up in this joint. Don't forget also, it is Women Crush Wednesday, the second one of the year. God, man, it's such a cumbersome thing, too, because I always forget, and then at the last minute, I'm like, all right, let's get this out the way the day of before I start, doing my thing. So today, she is at Pure Dynasty __, 2 underscores at the end of this. You can go to the One Mic with Big Mike Facebook page and check her out and give her some likes or whatever you want to do with that. And don't forget about the Big Mike Brims giveaway. I think we're just going to do like a pick. We're going to just pick names out of like a hat on the show at the end of the month. So what you will need to do is follow me, first of all, on Twitter and Instagram, and then send me a tweet at me or Instagram at me or Facebook me with the hashtag Big Mike's Brims, BRIMS. And at the end of the month, we'll tally them up. I'll put them in one of the new era hats or these them right here, brand new. Some of them even still in the plastic. I ain't even take the plastic off of them. Can y'all see these? Can y'all see? This is a Hawks joint here. All of them I think are Hawks joints. Yeah, see, that's a Hawks joint. Another Atlanta Hawks joint, old school. So yeah, follow me, Twitter and Instagram, and then and on Facebook as well. And then follow me on Spreaker too. You gotta be following me on Spreaker as well. And I'll put the names inside of a hat, and I'll draw them at the end of the month, and I'll mail somebody out a brand new era or Mitchell and Ness hat, and we'll do it like that. So Alex Khvatov up next right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Then D'Orlando Ledbetter, and I'll get back into this conversation, give you guys some more ish about this championship game and Nick douchebag Saban. He lost to another douchebag too, by the way. What's his name? Dabo. He's another douchebag too, and we'll talk about him as the show rolls on as well. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Once again, the show is heard live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But you can also catch it on demand if you missed the live version on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, OneMicWithBigMike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play, Music, and YouTube. I shall return.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Welcome back to the Wednesday episode, the hashtag WCW episode, the Hump Day episode of the One Mic with Big Mike show here live on Spreaker.com, also on the Spreaker app. You can hear the show live on TuneIn and my website, of course, OneMicWithBigMike.com is the website. To text the show, all you got to do is text in at 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside the live interactive chat room if you choose and get your thoughts and comments and all your crazy things heard. You can also leave your comments below the live streaming video on Facebook. That Facebook page is at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. And ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. One of my favorite times. I'm a bit of a nerd for this kind of stuff. It's time to get ready for the NFL draft. All those teams who sucked last year, this is the time where the NFL starts to inject a little bit of hope in you. You know, you get a brand new NFL prospect for your troubles last year. And to help us decipher or start to decipher today, because we'll do this a couple more times throughout the offseason, to help us decipher who these guys are and to maybe introduce us to some guys that we may not know, is my man Alex Khvatov. He's from NFLDraftBlitz.com. Make sure you guys are following him on Twitter at NFL Draft Blitz. Y'all give it up? Yeah. Alex, what's happening, my man?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
I can't call it, man. How's been? We haven't talked to you since what? Since May? How have things been?
Yeah, it's been a while. You know, been obviously watched the national championship game, the Alabama against Clemson, one of the best games I've seen in a while. So that turned out to be a good one. Obviously, there are a lot of prospects that are going to be, well, already have turned pro from that game. So yeah, it's been exciting. Obviously, for all those Cleveland Browns, San Francisco 49ers fans, it's a good time to get ready for the NFL draft because obviously you really didn't have a good season.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a top 5, top 10 pick. It definitely brings hope.
Let's start with the game on Monday. Let's start with the quarterback, because after the game, I heard something that I heard a couple of years ago, and I kind of fell into it too. There's no way that Vince Young can't be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And I heard the same thing happen on Monday as it pertains to Deshaun Watson. And I think what happens is sometimes, you know, we become prisoners of the moment. And I've learned my lesson to kind of wait and talk to guys like you and read a little bit more, because we get to see that, like the moles and the warts in people as we go through the combine process and the pro day process and things and the rest of the offseason. But from right now, because I imagine you're a guy who has watched Deshaun Watson throughout the year through different lenses than most of us have. Give us what would make him the number 1 overall pick, and also what would make him not the number 1 pick in your opinion.
Well, I mean, you have to be excited with his arm talent, his athleticism, his ability to make some special throws, because the NFL is a different league now. Even when Vince Young entered the league, right? Right now, we're looking for running quarterbacks. We're looking for guys that can get out of the pocket, that can make throws on the run, and he can definitely do that. The concerns that I have with Deshaun Watson is the same thing that excites me about him. It's his ability to throw within that pocket, his ability to spread the ball around, his ability to go through those progressions. He can't do that right now because he's coming from a spread offense. He's a spread quarterback, and it takes time it takes adjustment to take those snaps from under center, to not only have your first read, but go to your second read, your third read, try to look at the tight end. We saw in the championship game, especially at the end of the game, he was making a lot of risky throws. He was making his receivers make plays for him. Yeah. And Mike Williams certainly did that. But the concern with him is his decision-making, his accuracy in the short, intermediate areas. He can certainly throw the deep ball, but I have those concerns when you're coming to the NFL to a more pro-style type of offense. You have to be able to make good reads, and you have to be accurate between 10 and 15 yards. I'm going to say it right now. There's no way Deshaun Watson is going to be a number 1 overall pick.
Okay.
I'm going to state it right now. I actually don't think he's a first-round quarterback. I think he's more of a day 2 pick.
Well, you know what? I heard something kind of crazy today, Alex, that a lot of people have him in that first round because of the CBA, because of that fifth year option. Drafting him in the first round gives you more time with a guy who, like you're saying, people may question his decision-making ability, but he has that raw talent that somebody might want to have in their system for at least 5 years to try to develop it, instead of being like a Russell Wilson where you have to sit down and negotiate after a couple of days. Like, have you heard people talk in the evaluation circles about those type of prospects when it comes to kids?
That has been mentioned, but if you're taking a top 5, top 10 pick, you want that guy to contribute as early as possible.
Absolutely.
This isn't a guy that's going to sit for the next 2 or 3 years. We know this. You and I know this with quarterbacks. Everyone wants them to play. Mm-hmm. We saw what happened with Carson Wentz. He started as a rookie from day 1. Jared Goff, when the Rams were losing, everybody was calling for Goff to get on the field. Jeff Fisher and that organization wasn't willing to do that. They finally pushed for him. Then we saw what happened with Dak Prescott when Romo went down. Look, NFL teams, personnel people, GMs, head coaches, they're not the most patient people, especially with quarterbacks. They're actually willing to give more time to other positions. But when you spend a first-round pick on a quarterback,
you gotta play.
Maybe you let him sit in year 1, but in year 2, you have to have him ready. I just don't think Deshaun Watson is ready for the NFL. He's not Cam Newton. Let's not mistake this. Cam Newton was a rare specimen.
Absolutely.
Here's a guy who's 6'5", 240 that can run a 4.4, 4.5. He's just a rare guy. Deshaun Watson is smaller. He's skinnier. He doesn't have the arm talent that Cam Newton had coming out. He certainly doesn't have the baggage that Cam Newton had coming out with some of the character concerns that some teams had about him. But I don't see Watson in the first round. Not in my first round. I don't see it on NFL boards when it's all said and done. Because there are some other quarterbacks that are coming out that are going to push him for that number 1 quarterback position.
Let's stay there, because the last time we spoke, one of the last questions I asked you was about the guys that we would be talking about at this time. One guy you were very, very high on was Brad Kaya, who decided to leave, and a lot of people I heard talking about him maybe needing to stay one more year now that he has Mark Richt down there. Before we get into all that, though, the other quarterbacks, who is this year's Carson Wentz? Since you brought his name up, who is that guy? The small school guy that's going to show up at the Senior Bowl or whatnot and kind of blow everybody away? Or maybe not a small school guy, but maybe a guy who's a little bit flying under the radar. It's going to catch some people's eyes during this offseason, that we're going to see him make this meteoric rise to the top of draft boards by the time April comes around.
I think it's going to be the kid from North Carolina, Mitch Trubisky. I think he's going to make a rise. He was a first-year starter. He was a bit of an unknown, but Fedora threw him out there. He had a very good season. He's got the arm talent. He's got good size. He's about 6'2.5". He's got those physical tools. He's a pretty good athlete. He's got the accuracy within that offense. He's got the arm strength. He is coming out because he's already 22. He's a junior. He only started for 1 year at UNC, but he is coming out because he's going to be 23 in August, I think, in training camp. So he knows that the time clock is ticking. And a lot of teams are going to look at that and say, oh, he's 23 years old. He doesn't have the upside that Deshaun Watson has, that Deshaun Kaiser has from Notre Dame. But I would say Mitch Trubisky is a guy that's going to move up in this process because he's got the intangibles. He's got that potential, that upside, because there's not as much tape on him as with Watson or some other kids out there. With Watson, you have 3 years of tape. With Trubisky, you only have 1 year. So if this guy comes out and he has a great pro day, many people are going to be pushing him in the top 10. So there's a very huge chance, I would say, that he might be the first quarterback taken in the 2017 NFL draft. But you will hear his name a lot more after the Senior Bowl. He's not going to be there, but what I mean is, in February, you will hear his name mentioned quite a lot.
And I've talked to my listeners a little bit about him during the season. I only saw him play one time, but I kept hearing his name, this kid from North Carolina, Trubisky, and I've been hearing it now that the season's been over a little bit as well. The other voice that you're hearing is my man, Alex Khvatov. You can find him at NFL Draft Blitz on Twitter, and check out the website, too, NFLDraftBlitz.com. You can check out all the mock drafts, the interviews that he's done with certain prospects. It's real good stuff, so I suggest you guys head on over to NFLDraftBlitz.com. Now, I didn't plan on spending all this time on these quarterbacks, but you keep bringing up things that are making me wonder a little bit, because you mentioned Brad Kaya, you mentioned Deshaun Kaiser. These guys are leaving school early, and obviously they're in that same pool with Deshaun Watson. How strong of a quarterback class is this so far? The kid from Washington State, I just read today that he's going back to school. So, as a quarterback class in a league that covets the quarterback, how strong is this class in your opinion?
I think there's depth in this class that we didn't see last year.
That's like a bad word, Alex.
Well, I mean,
that means there's a lot of good, but no greats.
You're not going to have a quarterback taken in the first two picks.
Okay.
Let's start with that. There's not going to be a Jared Goff going at number 1 or Carson Wentz going at number 2. Because this is a quarterback-needy league, we might see 1 or 2 guys sneak into the top 10.
Okay.
There is a lot more depth than last year because I think Dak Prescott surprised a lot of people, including myself and a lot of personnel people as well. But besides those 3 quarterbacks, I mean, Wentz, Goff, and Prescott, this was a really thin quarterback class. In this quarterback class, you have Deshaun Kaiser from Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. We talked about Deshaun Watson, Mitch Trubisky, Kaiser from Notre Dame, Mahomes from Texas Tech. And then, there's some other guys out there as well, like seniors, that are kind of going to round out that list. So you have about like 4 or 5 guys, potential guys, that are going to go in round 1, day 2 type of guys. Now, I would say there is depth, but I don't see, Mike, a franchise type of guy that you can build around, like a Cam Newton, like an Andrew Luck. This is not that type of class, but we hear that every year. There's a lot of anticipation for these quarterbacks coming into the year, and then they never live up to the hype. Because we talked about Kaya last year. Mm-hmm. Kaya is a guy that I was looking forward to seeing, but I don't think he made that forward step that I expected. And to be honest with you, I would want him to go back for his senior season. Mm-hmm. Even though he started since his freshman year, he had a great freshman season. He took a step back as a sophomore. As a junior, he had an okay year, but not the type of progression that I wanted to see from him. So I would have loved for him to come back for his senior season under Mark Richt, 1 more year. He didn't do that. Obviously, he feels that he belongs somewhere. I think he's a day 2 pick, but and he does a lot of great things. He has good ball placement. He puts the ball in the tight window. He's got that accuracy. But sometimes when that pass rush is coming, his knees tend to buckle, and
that's not a good thing.
Some mistakes. Yeah, that's not a good thing. I mean, you need to stand in there. You need to take a hit.
Right.
I'm not sure that at this point Brad Kaya can do that, because in the NFL, guys are bigger, they're faster, and that's something that he will have to answer during his interviews at the scouting conference.
I've got a concept that I've been throwing out to people of what I think is going to happen, because in the last couple of years, I've heard people like Charles Davis and some other analysts talking about this renaissance at the running back position, because a couple of guys, Melvin Gordon and Todd Gurley, got picked in the first round a couple years ago. Then you had Ezekiel Elliott and you had Derrick Henry go pretty high last year. Well, this year we're looking at some pretty good backs. We're looking at Leonard Fournette. Obviously, he's the top of the class. Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, and these dudes. But I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to ruin some kid's career. And this is why. Some organization is going to be like, okay, let's get this running back in here, especially if we have a young quarterback, and let this young running back kind of help our young quarterback ease into the position. Not understanding that the house that Ezekiel Elliott lives in, that was built over 5 or 6 years by Jerry Jones and the Cowboys with that offensive line. You bring a guy like Leonard Fournette, as good as he is, he could turn into what Todd Gurley has become. Todd Gurley's a very frustrating-looking runner out there in L.A., and it's because there's no one around him, and he's being looked upon as someone who was going to save that franchise. Did you see that happening with some of these kids this year? Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, some of these guys?
These guys are going to go high.
Yeah.
Just because what you mentioned, Ezekiel Elliott went number 4, and look at what he did. He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had a rookie quarterback there, and he ran wild. But like Emmitt Smith, a guy like Terrell Davis, they needed a good offensive line in order to achieve some of the things that they've done. They're great players, but let's be honest. If you're a running back, you need a good offensive line.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I see Leonard Fournette going top 3. Even though he had a down
season.
Oh, my
goodness.
I think he's going to go top 3 like Trent Richardson did. Look, Ezekiel Elliott was taken number 4. I wouldn't consider this a strong draft. I think Fournette is going to test really well. He's going to show that explosion, that power, that speed. If he checks out okay with his character, he's going to go. I would say number 3, but he won't drop no later than number 5.
Holy smoke!
I don't see him dropping any lower than that.
Let me tell the people real quick, Alex. Let me tell the people what the top 5 teams are real quick. If you don't know, at 5 he could be a Jet. At 4 he could be a Jag. At 3 he could be a Bear. At 2 he could be a 49er. At 1 he could be a Brown. Hashtag RIP Leonard Fournette.
There's no way. There's no way the Browns are going to spend. They have too many holes. I don't think the Browns are going to spend a number 1 overall pick on a running back. They had that mistake with Trent Richardson a few years ago. They corrected it by trading him before anybody found out that he can't play. I don't think the 49ers would do it either. They need help on the defensive line.
They got Carlos Hyde.
The Bears just went and had Jordan Howard go to the Pro Bowl. He's an alternate, and they have a kid from Michigan State there as well. I would say Jacksonville and the Jets, absolutely. Those are huge possibilities because I don't think the Jaguars have a running back. T.J. Yeldon is not the running back of the future.
Yeah.
Many people had hopes for him when they drafted him a couple of years ago. He just hasn't panned out. And the Jets, they're just looking for players. So they need a big spark plug at the running back position. They need everyone to forget that they took Christian Hackenberg in the second round last year. So they need to make a splash. Absolutely. They need to rebuild that offensive line in order for Fournette to succeed at the next level.
Absolutely.
And I also think Dalvin Cook is going to be a top 15, top 20 pick just because of his terrific receiving ability. He can do all the facets of the game. He's an explosive runner. He's a great receiver. He can pick up the blitz.
Played in the pro offense,
you're
too.
always looking for guys that can make big plays. So I think Dalvin Cook is a first-round pick, and you have to be excited with Christian McCaffrey. Look, this is another guy that you can line up in the slot. He's a fantastic receiver.
I like him.
He can do a lot of the things out there. I don't think he's going to go in the first round, but he's definitely a solid second-round pick. This is a deep, deep running back class. I love this running back class, but you're absolutely right that some kids are going to be ruined, especially by what Melvin Gordon, Todd Gurley did as a rookie, and especially what Ezekiel Elliott did last year, because this is a copy league.
Yep.
We remember when running backs were taken really, really high in the 1990s, because that's how teams felt that you needed to win football
Ronnie
games
Brown,
by
Cadillac.
controlling the game. We saw guys like Kijana Carter go number one overall. We saw guys, many running backs go in the top 3, top 5. Many guys didn't pan out. Then the league changed into more of a passing league, but now it's kind of coming back. It's going full circle again. I mean, we see what the Cowboys did with the rookie quarterback and a great running back in the backfield. So teams are going to copy that. So I think the New York Jets will definitely look at pulling the trigger on Leonard Fournette at number 5.
There it is, Jets, Jets. The other voice that you're hearing is my man, Alex Khvatov. He joins me during the offseason. He's one of my favorite guests because he gets me all the information that I need about the draft prospects, the draft process in and of itself before the actual draft happens. Follow him on Twitter at NFL Draft Blitz and check out the website, NFLDraftBlitz.com. Are we going to see any more underclassmen? Because I know we got like a week to go, right? Do you see any more underclassmen either declaring to leave or staying now that everything has been wrapped up as far as the championship game goes? Do we have any like late stragglers that people are waiting on to see if they declare?
I'm waiting for a couple of wide receivers, to be honest with you, like Malachi Dupree from LSU, Travis Rudolph from Florida State. They're still undecided. Wide receivers are at a premium. They usually go after a couple of seasons. We saw Mike Williams declare from Clemson. So I would say those are probably the two biggest names for me at the playmaker position. And also Cam Robinson. Cam Robinson from Alabama.
Big boy.
I expect him to declare, but he hasn't done so. That's another big name because he's been mentioned as a top 10 pick.
Let's talk defense now. We've done a lot on offense. My guy, Peppers from Michigan. What is he? And are we going to find out what he is more at the combine when he tests? We get an official weight and height on him because I've seen him listed as linebacker. I've seen him listed as safety. What is he going to be at the next level? Or is it just basically going to be a system fit and based on the team that drafts him?
I think he's kind of a hybrid guy.
Okay.
I do think he's more of a safety, but he has been called a linebacker from Michigan. I mean, he plays that position. I do think he's a hybrid. He's a guy that can go down, defend, be in the box. He can also cover. I think he's going to be a system fit, but I do think his official position in the pros will be at safety because he can hit. He can fill the hole. He can cover. He can do all those things effectively. He can blitz. I just think sometimes you see him get caught out of position. He struggles when he lines up against receivers.
Okay.
And especially in one-on-one coverage. He gets exploited sometimes and gives up big plays. But I do think he's a safety. I think he's a top 10 pick. I think when it's all said and done, he's probably closer to a guy like Roy Williams. Remember Roy Williams?
Oh, from Oklahoma, Roy Williams?
Yeah,
Fat Roy Williams with the Dallas Cowboys? Ugh.
Yeah, the only difference is Peppers has a little more speed. Let's just say that. But the blitzing, the hitting ability, his ability to cover the tight end. When Roy Williams was coming out of college, he was hyped as the next big thing. That's where I'm making this analogy.
And then people found out he had to cover somebody.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that Peppers is kind of the same way because when he's out there in zone coverage, when he's kind of the free man, he's fine, like patrolling the middle of the field. When he's lined up in coverage, and man-to-man coverage, which is essential for a safety, and you have to be able to cover those slot receivers, those quicker guys, he struggles. And that's something that he's going to have to work on when he gets to the second level, at the next level.
Okay. I got a couple more things for you. At the top of most of these mock drafts, I'm seeing a lot of defensive names. Is the top of the draft indicative, if I can say it in English, of what you anticipate the entire draft being? A draft where it's very deep on the defensive side of the football as far as pass rushers and linebackers and guys that can cover and so forth?
I would say this is a really deep draft. We already mentioned running backs. A few running backs will go in the first round. But this is a very deep draft when it comes to defensive backs, safeties, corners. Those guys are going to go early, especially with a few guys declaring, like Sidney Jones from Washington, a couple of Florida kids that have declared, like Tiz Tabor. Those are the things. Marlon Humphrey from Alabama is. I haven't seen his official name out there, but he's going to declare. Defensive backs are going to be at a premium, especially early. I also feel, pass rushers are going to go. Guys like Myles Garrett. I think you'll hear a lot of comparison to Jadeveon Clowney because of his athleticism. The only difference is this guy has backed it up the past 3 seasons with his stat line. He's got the athleticism, he's got the length, he's got the quickness around that edge. I think he could play outside linebacker in a 3-4 or defensive end in a 4-3, which I think is a more natural position for him. And the kid is clean, and that's why I think Garrett is going to go number 1 overall. A lot of things can change. Obviously, we're talking right now in January, but I would say he's my early favorite guy for that number 1 overall pick. I also think Jonathan Allen from Alabama, because he could play multiple positions. He could play defensive tackles, he could play 5 technique, and those guys are at a premium out there. So I would say, expect pass rushers. A few of these guys go early, probably even in the top 3, top 5. And then you will hear a lot of defensive backs because 2-3 guys like O.J. Howard from Alabama, who's going to test really, really well. Bucky Hodges from Virginia Tech just entered the draft. He was a former quarterback in high school. This guy's incredibly athletic. He's fast. He wasn't featured quite as much as he would have been at a team that uses the tight ends a little bit more than, say, a team like Virginia Tech. But I would say you will see probably 2 or 3 tight ends, maybe a guy like Jake Butt from Michigan, go in the first round. I'm not saying this is going to be like a Vernon Davis type of thing, where he's going to be drafted. They're going to be drafted in the top 10, but you will see these guys drafted in the top 20 because of how well they're going to test. And again, O.J. Howard from Alabama and Bucky Hodges, they're definitely first-round picks in this year's draft.
And that makes sense. It makes sense when you talk about the copycat lead and the mismatch problems that some of those tight ends present. That makes a whole lot of sense. Alex, as always, man, you fill me up with a lot of information. I want to do this again during practice week or after the All-Star games to get another dose of this and see if anybody new has caught your eye or if anybody new has caught the eyes of the scouts and all those things. As always, my man, I appreciate your time, and we'll do it again down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be at the Senior Bowl covering the practices and the games, so it should be fun as always in Mobile, Alabama. Thanks a lot for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, make sure you guys check out the website, man. NFLDraftBlitz.com. He's on Twitter at NFL Draft Blitz. His name is Alex Khvatov. That's my guy, man. You guys can see he's all wrapped up and he knows this stuff, man. He knows these players and he covers them year round. That's why I love having him on. But coming up next, another guy I like having on, the president of the Pro Football Writers Association of America. He's also the Atlanta Falcons beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution right here in the hometown. We know him as Daryl Orlando Ledbetter, Jr., Senior, the third. Now I don't know about all the superlatives, but yeah, he'll be joining me next. We're gonna talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I am no dose. Sorry, man, we gotta do it. They're in the playoffs, and the city's abuzz a little bit. You know, the city's abuzz, and people want to see the team do well. People got a lot of trepidation. What if they lose? The revenge factor and all that foolishness that fans talk about. So we'll get the true skinny from a man who covers the team and sees them almost every day of the week. My man, D. Orlando Ledbetter. We'll do it next on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget to hit the poll questions up. Hashtag put it on the poll at One Mic with Big Mike on Twitter. Also, make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram and liking the Facebook page where the live stream is going on right now. And shout out to our Woman Crush Wednesday of the day at Pure Dynasty __. I will be right back.
You or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure. The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ag Council.
One mic. All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Bang Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic. Y'all know what it is, man. Hour number 2, one down, 1 to go here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. What's going on? My button not working. My there it is. Yeah, man, we getting on over this hump, man. Over the hump for the show. 1 hour to go right here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, and of course, One Mic with BigMike.com, the website. Make sure you guys are checking out the live stream right now at One Mic with Big Mike on Facebook. While you're there, you can check out the handsome mug of my next guest. He is the president, yes indeed, the president of the Pro Football Writers Association right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. We call him D. Orlando Ledbetter. He also, by the way, his side gig outside of being the president is covering the Atlanta Falcons for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Y'all welcome in, once again, friend of the show, of all the shows I've done. What's going on, D?
Hey, Big Mike, thanks for having me on the show, my friend.
I thank you for making the time, as always, man. Let's get right into it. Oh, by the way, make sure you guys are following D. Orlando Ledbetter on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC or DOrlandoLED. And if you come for my man, just understand, you might have made a mistake. I see the way these cats be trying to come at you, D, on the Twitter, and the clapback game is real. So respect, my man. Let's start, man. We got the Seahawks coming to town on Saturday. First game of the what is it? The divisional round. Let's talk about the health of the team. How's the team doing health wise?
Yeah, the team's doing healthy. They had 5 guys on the injury report today. They were all full participants in practice. The big ones being, Vic Beasley with the shoulder and Julio with the toe, and Taylor Gabriel was on there with the foot. But all the guys practiced today. Austin Hooper is back with his knee. So Coach Quinn believes they're healthy and ready to go.
We hadn't heard a lot about Desmond Trufant. I know he's out for the season, but how's he progressing?
Yeah, he had his surgery, and, that's a 5-month surgery, so we won't really check back in on him till around, April, late April, late March, early April, see how his surgery is going. But, yeah, he's doing okay.
Let's talk about this, the concept I have. I've been talking to the people for the last couple of weeks. There seems to be a measure of fool's gold when it comes to this team based on what they've done for the last 4 weeks and who they've done it against. It's not been the most challenging schedule as far as NFL competition goes. And now they're going to have to ramp it all the way up for a championship caliber team in the Seattle Seahawks on Saturday. Is there any, do you see any concerns with that? You know, this team riding this high of scoring all these points, doing so well on defense. But now it's playoff football, and we always know everything gets magnified so much more against the better teams in the league. Is there any type of trepidation that you can feel coming from the facility or from yourself as a man who covers the team?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike, and I totally understand that because, you got to play to your standard. And I think what they've done down the stretch here against the likes of the Rams and the Niners and so forth was they went out there and took care of their business.
Absolutely.
They didn't play around with them. Seattle played around with San Francisco, barely won 24-25. The Falcons went out there and took care of their business, played their game, got their starters out. So that shows me that they're not really worried about who they're playing, that they're trying to get to their standard and play the best they can. The big one is the secondary, and because with Trufant down, you got basically two number twos and an undrafted rookie out there covering. But they did pretty good against the Saints. That was their big test to see how they do against Drew Brees. Falcons got the big lead, and then they kind of shut it down. So it's hard to say if they passed that test or not. So, there'll be some concerns. This is a good Seattle team that's been in the playoffs 5 years in a row.
Let's talk Vic Beasley, a guy who after the first 6 games of the season, after that Seahawks game, the first one, he was at 0 sacks. He ended up with 15 and a half. But along the same lines of that fool's gold question that I asked you, not saying that he is, but in watching the games, I see a lot of Vic Beasley sacks coming off of called stunts. And also he got a couple where he was spying the quarterback and he was fast enough and athletic enough to chase the quarterback out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. I kind of liken it to that year, like John Abraham's last year, when I think he had 10 sacks that year, but then when you broke it down, it was the year they played the AFC South and Peyton Manning wasn't there. So then John Abraham had like 3 sacks apiece against Jacksonville and the Colts and Houston. And my question, let me get to that, is have we seen Vic Beasley turn some sort of corner? Really? Have we really? You see these guys practice. Have we seen him turn a corner? And will he be able to carry that forth through this playoff run, no matter how long it lasts for the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, I think, he has gotten some his big sack games against the third-string tackles. Certainly the Denver game was that. And the there was another multi-sack game where he abused the tackle. Seattle doesn't have a very good right tackle either. This Gilliam kid, who was basically a tight end at Penn State, and then they moved him to tackle. He was rated 57th out of 59 last year at the right tackle spot. So, hey, if they're going to put a scrub over there, then take advantage of that. Vic's been able to do that. And the stunts and stuff, I like that because you don't know where he's coming from. You can't just sit there and wait for him. And if he's doing that and people start sliding and protecting to him, that should open up Claiborne and some of the other guys. So I think they do it as a unit. It's not all big, and it's certainly something that they could build off of as they go forward with it.
It's Hump Day on the One Mic with Big Mike Show, and we're getting ready for playoff Saturday here in the ATL. So no better man to do it with than my man D. Orlando Ledbetter. He covers the Atlanta Falcons and has for a long time for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The last time we spoke was at the beginning of the season, and I had this concern with the Falcons and their talent evaluating process. And I always point to the successful teams finding those hidden gems, those guys who don't come from the first and second round or even the first and second day. And here we are, some guys that you mentioned to me in that conversation, Deion Jones and Devontae Campbell. These guys are going to play in their first playoff games. Tell me about their progression as you've seen it throughout the season, now accumulating in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, Deion Jones has been steady. He showed early on he can make big plays with that 90-yard interception return against the Saints, and he's been able to build off of that. The coaches told us halfway through the season that they wanted to see him be more aggressive in the run game, much like he was in the passing attack. So, that's helped the run defense. He's gotten more aggressive there. Campbell was kind of had some he was much hyped. Then he had an ankle injury in the second game. Then came back, tried to play on the high ankle sprain. He's the one that hit the rookie wall. And they kind of, been working with him to get his head right here going into the playoffs. So, the talent's there. It's just whether you can get him to do it at a high level here with the lights all shining. So, those two guys are very important parts of the defense moving forward and into the future.
A lot of the narrative for the fans in Atlanta is the referees. How, of course, based on the last game here, up in Seattle, the missed pass interference call at the end of the game on Julio, and I go at it more of this way. I think Seattle makes the referees do their job because of they're consistent in the way they play. They play very physical, and they got that from the man who's head coaching the team here in Atlanta right now. Play to the very edge, and then allow the calls to pull you back. If the game, well, let me ask you this way. What impact do you see the refs having on this game? Because it's not a crew that's worked together. That's been much talked about. This is a proverbial all-star crew now in the playoffs. What effect do you think the way the game is reffed, let's say it that way, will have on the game on Saturday?
Yeah, the games will be they're going to let the guys play. They do that in the playoffs.
Who does that benefit, though?
Pardon me?
Who does that benefit?
Whichever team that's playing the hardest.
Okay.
The Falcons have tried to play real hard and go at it. Because you saw Roddy get bumped off his route in the AFC Championship game 5 years ago. So in the playoffs, they're not going to call them tic-tac fouls. You got to go take it to your guy and beat him, and the refs are going to let you do that. I think that, the Falcons' offensive line is going to have to step up because Seattle's got all those tough hombres over there, and Bobby Wagner. I really like Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, Kendall Wright. We're going to have to take it to those guys, stand up to them and beat them up because they're going to try to beat you up.
Here's another concept that I had a few weeks ago. Like, I'm trying out all my little concepts on you today, D, because you'll be able to clarify through a very clear lens. I feel like this may be as close as it gets to a do or die year for the Falcons because of the acclimation process that it took between Matt and Kyle Shanahan, and now we're seeing the culmination of it here in year 2. But he's out of here. So essentially next year, Matt's going to be a year older, and I always feel that the Falcons fans here don't understand how lucky they are, not just of how good Matt Ryan is, but that dude is durable. He don't miss no games, and eventually the NFL, that catches up with you. So not only will he be starting over with a new coordinator, he'll be a year older, and then who knows what's to happen. We know what the product is now. Everyone here in Atlanta knows what the product is now, and I feel like this is the year to get it done or not. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think Kyle's gone, though, Big Mike.
No?
Some big news today. Vance Joseph got
out of
named
Denver.
the Denver coach. And the Rams may not have to wait until the end of the Falcons season to talk to Kyle. And Kyle's not just going to take any job. Jacksonville's gone. Nobody really wants the San Francisco job as your first job because that's such a major rebuild.
Right.
By the time they get good, you're going to be fired. So he wants to be a coach. He doesn't have to take any old job.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking Kyle's going to be back next year. Ryan's 31. He knows the offense inside and out. He could probably teach it to the new guy, whoever comes in. So they're set that way. But it is a window here that, your quarterback is 31. Your defense is going to be great eventually. With them playing all those rookies and second-year guys this year, next year those guys will know what they're doing and be able to shut some people down. But, I think we're just the opposite here. We're at the beginning of another 5-year window where the Falcons are going to be factors in the playoffs.
Wow.
By the time Ryan's 36, 37, we can start looking for another quarterback, at that point. But, no, I think, Coach Quinn's got this thing flipped around pretty quick. He's got his defense. He's got Keanu O'Neal. Got some headhunters over there. Gonna need some bigger tackles with Tyson Jackson and Bevino being older, but he likes the cornerbacks. He's got 4 of them. So, they're ready to roll. They're loaded, I think, on that side of the ball to make a big splash this year in the playoffs and certainly in the next 2 to 3 years.
Look at D'Orlando bringing the good news to the Atlanta Falcons fans. You making some people smile today, man. Make sure you follow D-Lad on Twitter at D'Orlando AJC or at D'Orlando LED. How is Kyle Shanahan? How has he evolved as a play caller? Because at the beginning of the season when we spoke, we talked about that sort of, for lack of a better word, arrogance, that this is how I want it done, this is how it's going to be done. Throughout the season, as Matt Ryan's put up these historic numbers, how has Kyle Shanahan either pulled back a little bit or kind of conceded some things in order to make what we're seeing on the football field happen?
Yeah, he definitely, there was a meeting of the minds. He had to soften his stance, and I think that came from Quinn and Ryan and the ownership maybe that, you can't, you're not dictating to Matt Ryan that we're, not going to run the no-huddle when he's great
That's
at
right.
the no-huddle. So, we saw more no-huddle certainly early on. We'll probably see some Saturday. I mean, that made no sense to not run the no-huddle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he doesn't have Matt doing all those bootlegs and rollouts and stuff either because his pocket's firmer now. So he can sit there with, Alex Mack and throw the ball down the field. So Kyle has to be given some credit for, changing it up. I don't know where it came from. But Ryan and Kyle are on the same page now, and they got him doing things that fit his talent level instead of throwing passes and routes that were just in the offense because, it was their offense.
Right. He
had to retool that thing to fit his quarterback, and they did a good job of that.
Wrapping up here, got a couple minutes left with D'Orlando Ledbetter of the AJC. 2 narratives I want to get from you. The Falcons lose on Saturday, and you can decide how they lose, whether they lose from they get blown out or they lose in a close game or it's a missed call at the end again, however you want to frame it, but they lose on Saturday. What are you writing on Sunday?
Well, that it was a good season and it's the beginning of the Dan Quinn era, and they're going to have to, get past this next level to break through to get to being a regular winning team that can sustain it over a period of time. There'll be some teeth gashing, but nobody had this team going to the playoffs. I mean, the schedule was so hard, you just couldn't see it. So they climbed some pretty big mountains this year, and it'd be good for them to, keep climbing. That way we'll know that they're all the way legitimate and can win in the regular season and the playoffs.
All right, now let's say they win. What are you writing on Sunday?
That's bring on the next opponent. Dallas or Green Bay. There's no reason to be afraid of anybody in the NFC. I don't see the 78 Steelers out there. There's no lockdown defenses. Worst case scenario, you're in a shootout with Green Bay, and you avenge the shootout from 2010 that you didn't pull out. So there's no reason. You're in the dance. You're in the second season. There's nobody to be afraid of. Just play your game and take it to them and see what happens.
See, that's why I love you, man. Because like if I ask the fan that, what if they lose? Death to everyone, fire everyone. The team sucks. What if they win? It's just like winning the championship. That's how polarizing wins and losses are to people in this city. And I know because you get it from these wackos on Twitter all the time. Let's talk about Matt Ryan, a guy who I've been accused of being a Matt Ryan apologist and defending this dude. He's going to be, he is a favorite to win the NFL MVP this year. Is there any chatter around the facility in that regard about his MVP candidacy?
Oh yeah, they publicly talk about the one team and all that brotherhood stuff, but people off the record they couldn't believe that the voters would go for Brady in the year when he'd been suspended for violating rules. So it doesn't look like they did. And then Aaron Rodgers came on to win the 6th in a row and get him in the playoffs. So, he's going to get some votes. But the voters, the AP voters who made Matt Ryan the all-pro quarterback are the same voters picking the MVP.
Well,
so
there's
that's
that.
a pretty good indication that he's in the clear is going to get that thing on February 4th down in Houston the night before the Super Bowl. So he's to be commended for that and having a fine season. He bounced back after eliminated all those turnovers, led the league in scoring. We saw one of the greatest statistical years in league history.
Two more things I got for you before I let you go, and he's D. Orlando Ledbetter from the AJC. Covers the Atlanta Falcons. Follow him at D. Orlando LED or at D. Orlando AJC. Why did it take people here so long to understand that this guy was a good quarterback, in your opinion? Like, what do you think? Because I have my opinions, and people think I'm crazy. I always think that his major flaw was that he isn't Mike Vick. That's always his major flaw, and unless he played what I consider this a pretty much damn near perfect season. This dude played a pretty perfect season for a quarterback this year, and I thought it would take something like this for people to come around. But from you and your dealings with people, why did it take people so long to understand this is a damn good quarterback here in the city of Atlanta?
Well, it was a tough situation he came into, right off of Michael Vick going to federal prison.
Yep.
And Vick had captivated the fans and the crowd with his athletic ability. So people enjoyed that. It was absolutely fascinating and thrilling to go to the Dome every Sunday and know your team had a chance to win. Falcons fans had never experienced that, not since not ever. So Vick stabilized the franchise and then got caught up in some federal dogfighting and racketeering charges and so forth. So the next guy in was going to have a tough time winning over the fans. But Matt was a steady quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Was an all-pro quarterback right from the beginning. Won 11-5, against a soft schedule, and had a big running back there to help him learn his way in the league, and Michael Turner. Some great coaching from Bill Musgrave and Mike Mularkey and Coach Smith. The people that have any problem with Matt don't know their football.
There it is.
Because he's been a winner from the very beginning, and you got to give it up for him for that.
And the thing is, he wasn't a sure thing coming out of Boston College. It was like him, Joe Flacco, or the kid from Michigan. Pick one of those three dudes and try your luck at them. All right, D. Here's the last thing I got for you, and it's the most important question that I'm gonna ask you today because I gotta test your level of pettiness to see where you at on my pettiness scale. I'm all about the petty lifestyle, so I'm gonna ask you: should Future sing the national anthem at Saturday's game? This is a very important question.
I don't know Future. No, Future can't sing.
Oh, who cares? That's not the point. That's not the point. The people here trying to get at Russell Westbrook. No one cares about that anthem unless you kneel down for it. No one cares about that.
I love Future. I love him, but I don't want him singing the anthem. Let's let him come on at halftime instead of Ludacris. They got Luda coming on at halftime. I think we should have Future at halftime.
But it might be too late by then. Like, you trying to get in Russell Wilson's head at the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? You trying to get that done now.
Well, yeah, maybe we have a pregame concert. I don't really know if the national anthem is in Future's wheelhouse.
I'll just bring out some auto-tune. It'll be all right. Pre-recorded in the studio, let them lip sync it. It'll be all right.
Okay, I feel you.
My man, thank you so much for joining me today, man. We wanted to do it on Friday. I got Terrence Mathis coming on Friday. We're going to talk about the 98 team with Terrence Mathis on Friday. So I wanted you to follow him on Friday, but I know you got other obligations. But I definitely 100% always appreciate you, D. Thank you.
All right, Big Mike. Thanks for having me. Glad we could work it out.
No doubt. That's my guy right there, man. You make sure you follow him on Twitter at D Orlando LED or D Orlando A. I didn't even ask him which one is the one that he be clapping back at dudes for, because you try to come at this dude, all that, we need to find a different beat writer because he ain't kissing the team's ass and he ain't telling you how great they are at every turn. He's giving you the real deal, doing the job. That dude was the president. He's supposed to do the damn job, not worry about your damn feelings. Yeah, shout out to D. Orlando Ledbetter, man. And like I said, I wanted him to come on Friday. We was going to do a Falcons Friday situation. I got some other stuff on the table for that. I got my man reaching out to some people in Seattle to see if we can get a Seattle Seahawks, a former Seattle Seahawk player. So we'll do one from the Atlanta team in 98 that went to the Super Bowl. My man Terrence Mathis, appreciate him deciding to come back on the show after the last debacle. Nah, I'm lying. It wasn't a debacle. That's my man. Met Terrence Mathis many, many years ago for the first time. and try to get somebody on from Seattle and, try to hash this thing out because it's a big time for the city. I know, like, I usually do more national stuff. I don't really get into the local stuff a lot on the show, but when the local stuff, like if the Hawks go to the NBA Finals, what the hell you think I'm going to talk about? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a big deal nationally because this is the game. This is one of the games that people are going to be really looking at. It kicks off the NFL playoff weekend. So, yeah, right here in the city. So I love when my city's doing well. I never professed to be an Atlanta. That happened to me this weekend, too. One of those, the weirdo, the cult members from Alabama I was talking about, dude I used to work with over at 680 The Fan here. It was like, I said something like, I told him he was coming to the rescue of his cult leader, Nick Saban. He said, as you would do being a Falcons fan. I was like, glad you never knew me, and I hope you never do again. Like, why like some dude that's all of a sudden a fan of a team? I don't have no damn fandom in me. You weirdos can be all about that. I am no those. You weird enough. Don't talk about, you're not talking about my Saints enough. Be better. Don't be bad. And you'll get talked about. But as of now, figure out what you're going to do with your coach. Your quarterback's 97 years old. You're going to need a new one at some point. And that defense, oh, my God. Like, go get one of those New Orleans high school defenses or go to the prison yard and get the cats that's playing football over there and have them, come on the scene. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something on my Twitter, on my Renee, can you check this out, please, on the Facebook? Antonio Cromartie just liked something. What is it on Facebook? You like on Facebook or what is it? Whatever. See if that's Antonio Cromartie, the corner from the NFL, because we might have a guest next segment up in this piece. So anyway, coming back, we'll jump on this day. We'll go ahead and knock that out. I also want to finish my conversation with you guys about the things that happened on Monday in this national championship game and had everybody with their little draws tore because Alabama didn't win. A couple people, like I Am No Dose said, I Am No Dose said that he was hoping that Nick Saban and the Bama team won because Urban Meyer is a douchebag. Like, both of them are douchebags, dude. So you like rooting for like one douchebag over the other one. And for those, not Urban Meyer, he might be too, but I'm talking about Dabo Swinney. That's what I'm talking about. This dude made $1.4 million in the offseason. Yeah, let me see if I can find that real quick before we take a break, so I won't even have to mention it next segment. This dude made $1.4 million off the sweat of these kids. You know what I mean? And he's the one. The reason this is a big deal because I don't really talk about another man's money, but it's a big deal to me because it's the same dude that said, if you start paying kids, I'm quitting. That was what he said. If we start paying these kids, I'm quitting. Yeah, homeboy, you'll never get nowhere with me. I don't give a damn if you win 7 championships in a row. You're going to be the douchiest of douchebags there ever would be. Like, that's one of the things in life that just can't be. This white man who loves the power and the position that he's in and the financial gain that he's accumulating so much that even sharing a little bit of it with the workforce is offensive. They call that something. There was a word for that back in the day, and it just slips my mind. Tavery, the word just slips my mind. But they used to have a term for that a long, long time ago. Yeah, one white man getting rich, and getting all the credit. A bunch of black kids. And, I mean, of course, they got a white linebacker and their little white slot receiver, but sometimes, even during slavery, dude, that's the word I was looking for. There it is, slavery. Even during slavery, you guys look at that movie, 12 Years a Slave. It was a real deal. Like, cats would get punished and have to pay off debts by working. White cats would have to pay off debts by working with the slaves. So, yeah. There's always going to be a couple of them tossed in there. That's just what it is. You gotta keep up appearances, don't you? So anyway, we'll come back. We'll talk about that. I got a couple more hashtag put it on the poll things. And Renee, can you get the results for me? What we got so far for hashtag put it on the poll, brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. So on the other side of a break for the last segment of the show I got to do on this day, get into the rest of this craziness. I'm done with the Falcons talk. I am no dose, so you can unmute your situation. And I want to talk a little bit about basketball a little bit, since no one's watching it. You guys say you don't watch basketball until the season's over with, but I want to talk a little bit about basketball on my show. So we'll do that next on the One Mic with Big Mike show, heard live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker, the Spreaker app. Tune in onemicwithbigmike.com, and sing live on Facebook at One Mic with Big Mike.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Yeah, see, this would need to be happening at the game on Friday. I mean, just for the pettiness level. It's effort from Commas, Effort from Commas, yeah. This would need to happen at the game. You know what, Renee? You know what, Renee? I need you to put something on the poll for me real quick, Renee. I need you to do 2 things for me social media wise before I get into on this day. One, can you tweet out that D. Orlando Ledbetter says that the Falcons may be in the midst of a 5-year playoff window and another playoff window? That's outstanding, like, to hear, because I don't see it, but I'm sure the people who love that team are going to love to hear that. And all the people who trying to get at my man D, talking about the Falcons need a new beat writer and all this kind of. The Falcons got a couple of beat writers. First of all, Vaughn McClure is a beat writer for the ESPN, and they have a very cute black young lady. I can't think of her name. I've only seen her one time because I know I need to reach out to her for the times that I can't get. That's a joke, that I can't get D. Orlando, but I meant to take her name down so I could see about getting her on the show to talk Falcons with me when the times come. I know I am. I know I'm a terrible person. So yeah, dude, that dude said 5 years? That's outstanding. And this is a dude, I trust him because he sees the team every day. So can you put that out there? And the other one, and I'll tell you why I want you to do this after. Hashtag put it on the poll, brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. Is it snitching if you call back to an establishment to speak to the manager about what you perceive to be poor service at a place? Is it snitching if you call back to an establishment to report bad or unsanitary service at a place that you've gone to? And then I'll tell you guys what happened, and then we'll talk some more sports crap maybe before the show's. I got more stuff than sports to talk about today. I'm sorry. This stuff is just. The sports is just here today in case I need it, but I want to talk about Donald Trump too. So before we do all that, let's get to our daily look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
All right. And also, by the way, it is Woman Crush Wednesday, hashtag WCW. Shout out to @PureDynasty __. You got to put 2 underscores. She just wanted that name mad bad, didn't she? On this day in 1953, J. Edgar Hoover declines a 6-figure offer to become the president of the International Boxing Club. J. Edgar Hoover, that's the FBI dude, right? That was like setting up Martin Luther King and doing all that crazy stuff with the Black Panthers. That's him, right? On this day in 1973, the American League adopts the designated hitter rule. Smart. What the hell is the National League working on? I don't want to see no damn pitchers hit. The same way I don't want to see a punter throw a pass. On this day in 1984, the Denver Nuggets scored 163 points versus the San Antonio Spurs, who scored 155 points. That was the highest scoring game in NBA history. On this day in 1990, Bobby Knight, crazy-ass Bob Knight, becomes basketball's Big Ten winningest basketball coach in history with 229 wins. On this day in 2002, the great one, Muhammad Ali, his mama called him Clay, so I'm going to call him Clay, he receives his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. On this day in 2010, the retired U.S. baseball star Mark McGwire of the St. Louis Cardinals admits to using steroids, you don't say, during his career, including when he broke the sports home run record in 1998. Yeah, remember, well, we're not here to talk about the past. You douchebag, you in Congress. What you think you here to talk about? Them damn roids you was shooting in your ass. Yeah, him and Rafael Palmeiro and Sammy Sosa, me no speaking any English. Of course not now, Sammy. Sammy's a white woman now. I don't know if you guys have seen that. He's conjured up his inner Michael Jackson. Oh, did you see that dude, that white dude that's playing Michael Jackson? Did you see that dude that's playing Michael Jackson? The white guy. Did you see how he looks? Good. That's what happens when you like to play with little boys' booties. They let white boys play you, and you look terrible on the remaking of your life. Good. That's what your ass get, even in death. On this day in 2014, an arbitrator, Frederick Horowitz. I wonder if he's Jewish. He reduced A-Rod's suspension from 211 to 162 games, making it an entire year for A-Rod. And on this day in 2015, the catch that wasn't a catch occurred when Des Bryant caught a pass from Tony Romo. That won't happen this week. Well, let me not speak too soon. But he caught the pass against the Green Bay Packers, which everybody in the world thought was a catch except for the NFL and the referees. They doubled down on it. And if you look at the play, it looked as though like he lost control of the ball, but not because the ball hit the ground. It's because his arm hit the ground, and then we turned over. He still was holding the ball. So even with all that lost control stuff, I thought it was if the ball hit the ground and you lost control, not your body. You can regain control, can't you? Yeah, I guess not, though. Don't matter to me. Either way, that is your Monday, or your Wednesday, your hump day episode on this day. Look, Renee, you're so bad. You're so awful. You just want to chastise me for no reason. That is so rude and disrespectful to call him Clay. Have you ever seen Coming to America? Have you ever seen him? Seen the movie? You ain't never met no Martin Luther the King? God, Renee, we gotta get you a Netflix subscription or something so you can watch these old movies, man. It's so disrespectful to call him Cassius Clay. Tell Eddie Murphy that then, because that's who I'm quoting. Shout out to Muhammad Ali, even in death. So yeah, the question that I asked you guys, the recent hashtag put it on the poll brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. For whatever reason, Renee, I saw the thing you sent me, but now it won't show me. How do I see him? Do I have to click your name? Oh, there it is. All right. So Harbaugh. Yeah, because he's weird. Do you believe that he didn't see the national championship game? 27% of you dudes and ladies said yes. 36% no. I don't believe his ass either. Because he's a weirdo. And 18% said of course because he's a weirdo. And 19% like, Renee, what are you doing, man? These comprehensive answers. 19% because he's a sore loser. I believe that in all. Like, yeah, maybe. That's the only reason I would say is plausible, because he's that guy that's like, I don't care. My team ain't in it. What the hell I want to watch for? I can see that being a thing. So anyway, this happened today. Like every now and then, I'm sitting here working, right? There's a Publix up the street from my house, about 5 minutes from my house. So I work from home, and I leave to go get me some lunch today. Go down to Publix. I want some wings. You know what I mean? Some of the Mardi Gras wings. And I go down there, and it's this heavy set, like, I don't know if she's Jamaican or whatever lady that sometimes is there. And it's her, and it's like this big fat black dude, and there's a skinny black girl that's there sometimes when I go, right? And I go down there, and I'm like, my man, he put some gloves on before you start making my food. I don't care if you grabbing it with the tongs, but you putting your thumb in the little boat that you about to put my chicken in. I don't want your doodle in the booty thumb in my thing. And they act like that's on me for wanting that type of service in my food. Like, how dare I not want your finger in my situation? So the last 2 times I've gone, I've ended up just leaving. Because the one girl, the skinny girl, was in there, and she done had her weave in too long. So I see her fixing this lady's chicken, and she got to go to the back to get, like, the popcorn chicken or whatever she's going to get. And she's got the gloves on, but she's scratching her weave. She's, like, patting her weave, and at one point she scratches her weave with her finger. I'm like, I'm out. I can't do this. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to sit here and argue with this chick over some bum-ass. I ain't bum-ass. It's good chicken. I ain't going to call it bum-ass chicken. But over this chicken here at Publix, even though I'm hungry, I'll figure something else out. But today I was like extra hungry, and I wanted to prep for my show because I wanted to make sure I had the proper questions for my guests. I tell you guys about that all the time. Like, of all the things I talk about on this show, the one thing I don't like to mess up on is the stuff that I talk to my guests about. You know what I mean? I want that to be as crisp as possible. All the other stuff can be as idiotic as can be, but not that. So I go there, and the big chick is there this time, and I'm noticed she's up there running her mouth for the skinny girl. And so I walk up to the little glass, and I stand there acting like I don't know what I want, because I know what I want immediately. I'm going to get in and get out. I'm going to give me a couple potato wedges. I'm going to get a couple of these wings, and I'm going to go home and finish my work. So I'm sitting there waiting on her, and I'm like, okay, is she about to wash her hands and put on some gloves while I'm making my selection? No. You know what she's doing? First, she starts off with her hands on her hips, and then she starts rubbing them up and down her fat ass while she's about to fix my food. And I'm hungry as hell, too, by the way. I'm not, like, regular hungry. I'm ready to, like, tear some stuff up. So I leave. And I'm like, nah, this can't happen. I know. Because where I live at, there's, like, 2 Publixes. The other one is kind of far away. And I started to go to that one, but I was like, that's going to take me too much time. And it's Negroes there. But they wear gloves. You know what I'm saying? Well, Negroes run it, too. I think the manager's a Negro and, you know, all this kind of stuff. But this one, I knew it was white folks that managed this place. So I was like, nah, I ain't going to do that. I'm not going out of my way to get this chicken. I'm going to stay hungry, so I stay mad. So I called the white lady. I said, can I speak to the manager? She said, which one you want to speak to? She said, we got the customer service manager. I say that one. So I talked to the white lady. She was real nice. I was like, look, I'm not about that life, man. I'm not about people putting their fingers in my food. I like the chicken. I wanted it today. I wanted it the last time I came. And at the time that homeboy tried to give me attitude about asking him to put some damn gloves on, I wanted it that day too. But I'm not going to keep coming to your store, man, if that's the way it's going. I'm just calling you to find out what the policy is. She was like, sir, the policy is they should wear gloves at all times. I was like, look, I don't care about them wearing them all times. As a matter of fact, I'd rather them not, because I want some new gloves on them hands when it's time to serve my food. Well, we're gonna rectify if you want to come back up here right now. And I started to say, yeah, I'm on the way. You know, because I don't want to be no undercover snitch. I want you to know who it is, but I don't like when people mess with my food, though. You know, people get attitudes and want to do stuff to your food, even though it's right there in front of me where I can see them fixing it. I don't know. People too damn slick. So that's why the poll question, hashtag put it on the poll that I just put out there, was, am I a snitch? Because I didn't get the service that I require for the things that I put in my body. It already ain't the most healthy thing, but I don't want feces fingers in my food. You know what I mean? I don't know what you've been doing, bruh. Like, that one dude was putting up mangoes or something, touching all on these boxes and everything. He come around there about to put some damn chicken in my little box. I was like, bruh, can you put some gloves on? I mean, I was about to. I was like, no, not about to, dog. You already got the window open. What's really good? Yeah, man. So full circle. The next time some black dude gets shot and y'all get all on y'all support black business type stuff, this ain't even their business. And they can't even make my food right. Understand that part of the game too. It ain't just on me to support people in their endeavors. It's on the people that's providing the service to provide me a good damn service. I saw that junk happen at this Jamaican restaurant one time. Man, this dude was making that dude some cabbage, and a piece of the cabbage, he was barehanded. Piece of the cabbage fell on the little counter. That dude just got his thumb and just swooped it back in my man's container. I looked at homeboy like, you ain't gonna say nothing? He ain't say a damn thing. I was like, you better than me, cuz. Nope. And as soon as buddy got to my package, I was like, my man, you need to put some of them gloves on their back. Over there, don't you? Yeah. Like, what the hell about this? No. See, this is what Renee's going to do to me right now. Renee's in the chat room. You guys can get in the chat room as well. Go to One Mic, go to Spreaker if you're not already there, the app, or my website, onemicwithbigmike.com, and click on that little thought bubble. She says, I'm really mad about this chicken. I'm not mad about anything, but there's a certain amount of service. The chicken is going to be the chicken. You're minimizing what I'm talking about. Like, you let some big fat Jamaican lady start putting her finger in your food and see if you're going to be all right with it. No. And the problem is, it's the most convenient place to where I live, so I don't have to leave my work too long to get something when I want something. I don't want to go to the Chinese place. They take a minute to cook your stuff. I don't really like that Subway stuff. You know, I think it's cheap or whatever. You know what I mean? So Publix is right there in that same parking, in that whatever, plaza or whatever. So I don't want that. And you shouldn't be allowed. Like, if you want your job, you like your job, do it right, or not quit. Because Obama created 1 million something jobs. Go get one of those. Not the one that caused you to fix my chicken with your finger in it. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm live. Got a couple more minutes. I didn't think that was going to take that long, but yeah. These damn people had to pull out my inner snitch. And I'm going to go back tomorrow, too, to see if they did. I'm going to go ask for the manager, the customer service lady first, and ask her, is it rectified? I'm the dude that called you yesterday. I'm about to go over here and get me some chicken. I want to know if it's cool. Yeah, that I usually do cook my, like, Renee, I'm not fooling with you. Nope, not doing it today. Anyway, yeah, see, FD Sports. Yeah, all junk. Is my all that is my stream down. Something just said XSplit broadcaster has experienced a problem. Wait, there's a limit on Facebook again now? 240 minutes. I ain't been on for 240 minutes. Whatever. So no more Facebook broadcast. Screw Facebook now. I don't care. So last night I saw I'm an idiot. I put it on here because I'm an idiot. Hidden Fences. Did y'all see that from the Golden Globes? I'm probably sure y'all did. That white girl told Pharrell, so you're up for the award for Hidden Fences. Tell us all about it. That dude gave that white girl the steak face so bad, like, oh, white people, like, we can't get ahead of nothing. She just like, I'm gonna morph like 2 movies into one because all black things are just alike. Just morph them into one thing. I heard this white dude say, yeah, so when you're celebrating Dr. Malcolm Luther X Jr. Day next week, think about her. Yes, that's the kind of stupidity I'm all about. So yeah, anyway, I saw this movie, this Denzel thing. Shout out to Denzel, man. No spoilers here, but shout out to Denzel and Viola Davis, man. Hell of a performance. And the one thing, when you see the movie that you're gonna really pay attention, you should pay attention to, because it was brought to my attention when I saw the making of it. The writing. I'm sure white people who saw it didn't understand a lot of the things that were said in the movie because they were said in a way that it was like coded for black people. So if the movie don't do very well, that might be why. But it's an awesome movie. The other thing, you got to see like real actors in this movie, like people who had these, like Denzel and Viola got these long dialogues, man. And I mean, of course, you got to act them and you got to remember them. It's not just like it's like back and forth, clever dialogue between two people. It's these long, emotional, emphatic dialogues. Denzel's telling all these stories it's a wonderful, complicated movie that surrounds the central character, which is Denzel's character. And if you, like, it made me start thinking about my dad. I'm not even gonna front. Like, my relationship with my dad was real rocky growing up, man. Like, we got a real cool relationship now. This old man, let me tell you what this old man did. His brother living in his brother lives in England. So I just got him some cell phones, some smartphones. He been had cell phone, but I got him smartphones. First one, he been calling his brother in England. I get the bill. The bill damn near $900. I was like, man, Pop, what you doing to me, man? What's really good? Well, you know, I ain't mad at the man. You know, we got it straightened out. But anyway, our relationship is good now. You know, and part of it is because I'm an adult now. You got to see things through an adult, and you start realizing things like, you know, as fair or unfair as you might think some things that came from your parents were, you understand that for the most part they were doing the things that they felt was right. No matter, I mean, because times change and people ain't into whoopings no more, and, you know, participation trophies are a big thing and all this kind of stuff. But from our parents, I'm 40 years old not next month after next, I'm 40 years old. So the things that our parents grew up knowing, we know different. We have more information on certain things now, and so forth and so on. So I look at my dad and I see this movie last night, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he was an SOB, and he was on some like, yeah, it is because I say it is. I'm never wrong type dude, and you know, for what it's worth, it's a good movie. Renee's talking about Hidden Figures. That's the next thing. I'm taking my old lady to see Hidden Figures. I didn't want to see that last night, but we're gonna go see Hidden Figures because I told y'all before, it's not just about what the movie is because it's a black movie. It's a story that I don't know, and I want to know it. And I also want to take some time out to read as much about it as I possibly can. I've seen a bunch of stuff on Vice about it, the HBO, the making of it on Vice. I told y'all yesterday, on Monday, how Vice exposed that dude who directed the movie for doing having one of those white hero movies for Kevin Costner in the movie that didn't really happen. And really, it's not a matter of it didn't happen, him making something up. It's the fact that the lady that's the main figure in the story, the main character in the story, is really her moment. You know what I mean? And if people are lazy and they don't read about her story and they don't try to watch as much as they can about her, and she's still alive. She's like 92 years old, like still talking that ish about math and telling everybody how cool math is. Shout out to her, man. I'm terrible with names, so I don't have her name, you know, like front and center in my mind. But yeah, man, can't keep doing that. Like, you and Willa, stop doing that. You know what I mean? Because these things happen. Like, black folks want to be like, I was so mad. I ever told y'all about that brother at the what we was going to see, 12 Years a Slave. And I didn't even know what the movie was. We just wanted to go to the movies, and I saw Slave in the title. I was like, bet. I hadn't heard anything about it. I was like, let's run this. I read the little synopsis, and my dumb ass, I thought 12 Years a Slave. It said something about a businessman in New York gets put back in. I think it said gets sold back into slavery, but something in my mind didn't see sold back into slavery. So I'm thinking it's like a time travel movie. Like it's a dude from now who went back in time to slavery time. Totally wrong. But we get in the movie and we're looking for the theater, and this old black dude is sweeping up the popcorn or whatever. And I'm like, brother, where's the situation, man? Where's theater number 12 or whatever it was? He's like, oh, it's right there around the corner, brother. He was like, oh, yeah, man, you about to be mad as hell. This is what he says to me. And I'm like, nah, man, I ain't that dude. I understand the things that happened during that time. You feel me? I understand. I'm here to see the story. This is after I realized my old lady telling me what the story was. But I'm here to see the story, man, because I haven't heard this story. Many people at that point hadn't heard Solomon Northup's story. But yeah, black folks, stop doing that, man. Get your education on, man. Get your, learn some things about these things. Don't let your emotions always ruin your viewing experience. I can't believe they did us like that. Believe it. You've heard the story hundreds of times. You know they did. I think I got one more. Put it on the poll, Renee, before I get up out of here because, I don't have no more. Put it on the poll. We got to talk about Donald Trump being peed on by Russian hookers. Yeah, I'll talk about that. This is the One Mike with Big Mike show. Screw these damn sports today. It's Wednesday. It's a slow day anyway. So anything I have on my notes is basically filler. You know who won the championship. Nick Saban's a douchebag. He shouldn't have fired Lane. Steve Sarkisian's a drunk. Good for him. And Dabo Swinney's also a douchebag. So he'll get his pretty soon here because Deshaun Watson is going to the league. So there's that. Him and Mike Williams. So there's that. Shout out to D. Orlando Ledbetter and Alex Khvatov for joining me today. But my man, the Prez gone. He signed off. Did y'all see this? The Cubs, they trying to hurry up and get up in there before he leaves because nobody wants to deal with Donald Trump. Like, these dudes won the World Series, and of course, the Prez from Chicago, but like this stuff don't usually turn around this quickly. The Cubs just won the World Series. They like, nah, we gotta get in this White House now. We ain't trying to mess with old boy. No one is trying to be seen with this dude at all. No celebrity, even the ones who voted for him, like lightweight, they like, I don't know what you talking about. I ain't vote for that dude. I might not have voted for Hillary, but I ain't vote for him. Yeah, you did. Scott Baio and these cats. So anyway, now, yesterday I'm looking at CNN. And it's all breaking news. Jay Kaffer or whatever his name is on there talking about how the intelligence people are talking about the Russians got information on Trump that they might be holding over his head, to get him to do what they want to do. I guess it's what it was. I don't really follow this stuff real closely when they start talking because everybody got these spin techniques that they try to put on these stories from either side. So I'm like, all right, just give me the baseline of what it is. Apparently the hack that happened to the DNC also happened to the RNC, and they got information, but because they wanted Trump to win, they didn't release his information. And so today, I guess, who was it, BuzzFeed? That's been one of these cats. They said they got video of this dude because the M6, the KGB cats over there, I guess they don't have the KGB no more, but they the M6 or M16 or whatever they are, people, got video of Donald Trump getting pee-peed on by Russian hookers. Dude, I don't care if it happened or not. Makes no difference to me. But do you guys understand what's really happening? That dude is going to be the president. And this is the kind of stuff that is even able to be said about him because of who he is. You know what I mean? It's because he's such a douchey individual that it's just as likely that it probably is more. M16 is British, is what I Am No Dose is saying. One of these cats, I saw it said M something, got some video on this dude getting peed on. And apparently the story is false, it's fake news or whatever. But the point is that if somebody was like, you know what we got? We got a picture and video of Obama getting peed on by some Israeli hookers. Everybody be like, get your ass out of here. You stupid as hell. Ain't nobody got no video. Where is that? But as soon as it comes out about Trump, it's like, hell yeah, no wonder he loved Russia so much. Yeah, he like them golden showers. And he talking about, like, he's a germaphobe, so he wouldn't do that. Well, here's the thing, bruh. Urine is sterile. So there's that. You know what I mean? It's like, as a germaphobe, yeah, you're just as likely to let somebody, drop a golden shower on your head than the next man. Yeah, B. That is about to be y'all president, Donald effing Trump. The dude who will lie in the face of video evidence, which, by the way, he fits right in. Did y'all see this thing about this kid in San Diego? Go to my Facebook page. One Mic with Big Mike on Facebook. If you're not already there, checking out the video stream. I got a couple more minutes left in tonight's show. But yeah, another kid got shot by the police. His infraction. It's such a bad story in the layers, once you get into the layers of it, because his sister called the police, like, look, come help my brother, ain't acting right or whatever. Come see about him. They pull up. My man got an e-cigarette, because you can't smoke healthy anymore, I guess, if you're black. Blew his ass away. And this wonderful judicial system that we have here in America, KKK, what's the word? Renee, what's the name of the country? I forgot. My movement. What's the name of the country? We got a couple minutes. You can tell me that. I need to remember that because that's the movement. No more is it America. We hollering at the native brothers and sisters that we gonna call it what they called it before that white man came over here and said, you know what? I know it's folks already here, but I'm just gonna call it what I want to call it and tell people I found it. Yeah, no more. But anyway, that dude is the president. This guy. You ain't like people. I think people go too far when they like bring his old lady into it because she's like she's a victim like the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like she ain't signed up for that. Like when she was doing her porn gig, she wasn't thinking about being nobody's first lady. It was this guy drug her all into this stuff because he don't care. He don't feel like she should care. It's a bad guy move, man. Trust me, I'm a bad guy, and I wouldn't even pull that one. You know what I mean? But this guy is about to be the president. It's about to be so whatever the opposite of lit is, the good way, it's about to be terrible, man. That's why, again, man, before I get out of here, you guys need to come with me. Follow me on One Mic, at One Mic with Big Mike on Twitter and Instagram, because my suggestion is that we all just carry on. Carry on as though Barack is still there. Like, anytime you talk about the government, anytime you get mad at the presidency, like, I mean, I can't believe Barack doing it. Just keep doing it that way. Act like he's still there, like Donald Trump don't exist, because that's what I'm going to do. I can't deal, man. Like, I'm laughing for the next probably, what is it, the 20th? I'm laughing for the next 29 days. But after that, I think I'm going to be like on some depression type stuff, understanding what's really about to happen because ain't nobody done nothing yet. This dude, Session, I saw him grilling this dude, not even really grilling them. They was interviewing him, but doing a type of interview with somebody where like you the friend, trying to decide if you're going to hire your friend to work at the job you at. Now, I know you're not really a racist. Can you clear up why you're not a racist? Like, if you got to clear it up, B, chances are. I'll just say chances are. You know, old Alabama boy, I told you my rule, and I'm about to get up out of here. The rule is, if you like 65 and over, and you from the South and you white, my first assumption is that you hate black people. You know, that you spent a good portion of your life spitting the N-word from your mouth repeatedly. That's the theory. Now, I think it's a pretty foolproof one. I may be wrong on some occasions, but I think I'm probably shooting about 85% on that shot. You know, and that's a B in my book, so I'm good with that. I don't need to get a perfect score. I'm just going to always look at you like, look at Gertrude over there. She think I don't know she calling me the N-word on her breath, but I know you are. Anyway, once again, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram at One Mic with Big Mike. I got these Big Mike's brims, hashtag Big Mike's brims. So you follow me, send me a tweet or Instagram or a Facebook post with hashtag Big Mike's brims. And at the end of the month, I'm going to bless somebody with one of these Michelin S or New Era hats. Don't forget the show is available on demand on Twitter. Not on Twitter. On Spreaker. Spreaker also has an app. It's also available on TuneIn, OneMicWithBigMike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and, of course, YouTube. Thanks to my guy, D. Orlando Ledbetter. Thanks to Alex Khvatov. Thank you, I Am No Doze Renee. Big L was in the building today. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. My man, Alan. Appreciate you. Everybody who checked in on Facebook. Appreciate y'all. And as I say at the end of every show, man, y'all be safe. Come back and holler at me on Friday because I'll be here. Well, let's play it by ear. No, I'll be here on Friday to holler at y'all, man. Y'all be cool.